And here we go. Well, we're live. Good evening, good day, good morning, good afternoon. We don't know where you are, but wherever you are, we say welcome. Welcome to Biz with Joy. Grow your business in style. Leaders leaving legacies. Tonight, our guest is a guy that you are going to absolutely love. You know why? Because he's a mentor and he's working with our young people, and there's so much more to share with you. But our young people are here and they need us more than ever. And this guy, Antwaun Thompson, his love and his passion, his heart is working with young people. I could go on and on and on, but just let me say that I am Joy Ruffin, your style and leadership coach. I work with women predominantly who are into personal, professional, and spiritual development. Can't leave out spiritual. And I work to help them, to support them, and amping up their wow factor. Yet, biz to biz with joy, grow your business in style, leaders leaving legacies. That's for men and women. So I want you to help me tonight to welcome our guest, Antwaun Thomas. Antwaun, I'm going to bring you up and I want you to say hello and welcome. So good to have you here.
Thank you, Joy. I appreciate being here. And I just want to say, we've talked a couple of times, but
Yes.
Your energy and your enthusiasm is absolutely infectious. And I love it. And I'm looking forward to speaking with you. And I normally get a power break nap in each day, but I couldn't get one today because I was too excited about getting on here today. So thank you so much.
Oh, Antwaun, listen, this audience here now in the replay, they're going to fall in love with you as I have. Now, we have just met, but we have a lot in common. And one of the things that we have in common is that we both know how vital and important and major our young people are today, and how much they need guidance, how much they need the love and support and the passion that you're sharing with them. So tell us, what is it that you do in your nonprofit group? And give us the name of that. Share a little bit about that with us.
Yes, ma'am. It is a JLT Fieldhouse. It is a nonprofit youth coaching and mentoring organization, and we utilize the game of basketball as our platform or catalyst to recruit kids into the program. And we conduct one-on-one group sessions as well as clinics and summer camps. And along with that, we focus on the mentoring of life skills, and I like to call it the basketball/life approach. Because everything we do in sports carries over to what we do in everyday life when we talk about teamwork and being able to communicate with people, building trust, and then establishing relationships, long-lasting relationships.
You know, Antwaun, when I met you for the first time, and people will find out all of the wonderful things that you're doing with our young kids today, I fell in love, and I fall in love not too easily because I was one of those. And I remember, I'm a happy senior now, but I remember back in the day, way back in the day as a young girl, how confused and lost I was, and how many beautiful, strong, sterling mentors I had along the way to help me to come to be about all of these compliments that you just shared with me. So thank you for that. So what brought you to this? Now, I know that your family background, mom and dad, were beyond instrumental. But let's talk a little bit about how you came to this nonprofit group, the name, and your father. Share a little bit with us about him.
Absolutely. But I would be remiss if I didn't mention my mom in this process.
Please.
When we were really young, my biological father was not a very good husband to her, nor was he a good father to my older brother and I. And my mom, being the strong woman that she is, said, hey, you know what? I deserve better and my boys deserve better. So she packed up her bags, and luckily Lewis Thompson came along and provided a future that we would otherwise not have. And it's the reason you and I are having a conversation today.
You know what, Antwaun? This is what I wanted you to share rather than me, because you have a stepfather that you absolutely idolize, right?
Oh, more than I can tell you.
And this man gave you so much that you are now sharing with the young, beautiful souls that you're working with. I think that is so way beyond giving, sharing, and love. What was the impetus that gave you to start this nonprofit group that you have? It's the JLT Fieldhouse Nonprofit Organization. How long have you been in business? And tell us a little bit more about what you're doing there with our teens today.
Yep. So we started this is our 6th year of operation. And I just want to go back. My dad was my dad. He was not my stepdad. That's one of
I
the things
love that. Thank you for
that's
that
what's really
correction.
important. Yeah, that's really important because that's why I have the name Thompson, because he did adopt us. It was one of the first things he did after he married my mom was we
Antwaun,
changed our names.
stop right there. And my sincere, deep, I don't have to, but I'm giving it anyway, apologies, because what you just said, for the many, many beautiful young kids that I've met who were adopted or whatever happened, and someone else raised them other than their biological, that's still their mom and their dad. And that love that you have for him, it just permeates everything. Thank you for that corrections. Share
Oh,
more
my
with us.
pleasure.
Yes.
Absolutely. So, what we do is, again, the things that my father taught my brothers and I was, about building and maintaining relationships. It's what we teach these kids. We also teach them about discipline, self-respect, and accountability, and also about trust and respect. That trust is not given, it's earned, and how you communicate with people is a big part of how you develop and maintain trust with individuals, specifically with adults.
Yes. Well, you are giving them what so many lack, and that's that foundational base, which has to do with your ethics, integrity, honor, principle, characters, and all of that. And you know what I heard the other day, and I think you will value this and appreciate this, because I meet so many beautiful people that are doing so much in the world of good work. And she said to me, Joy, kids, because we were talking about teenagers, she said, remember that kids today more than before, they listen with their eyes. For
Right.
some reason, Antwaun, that permeated and went to the marrow of my bones, because it's true. How would you speak to that? Because that was very, very deep. Kids, in other words, you are their example, and you better be, or ought to be, their best example. Is that right?
Oh, you're 100% right. And the kids that I work with or have been working with for years, one of the reasons they keep coming back is because, like you said, they listen with their eyes and they like what they see. They see the results. Their confidence grows. When their confidence grows, their accomplishments increase. And with that accomplishment increases, they reach for higher and better things in their lives.
Yes, absolutely. And you also mentioned when you were sharing with us that everything that I do evolves and revolves around these three, because it encompasses these three: everything, family, relationships, community. And regardless to the home base and all the other bases, if you don't embrace those three in one way or another, there isn't much for you. And our kids, I don't know about you, Antwaun, but I remember being young. And I remember you think you know everything, and yet somewhere inside you know you don't know everything. So you look for
Right.
those who you can see in their eyeballs. They care about you. So it's great.
Absolutely. Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. And then, just those 3 key points you talked about. I have 3 of my own that we utilize that I've been
Yes.
doing for years too.
Yes.
And it's 3 words. It's simplicity, it's effort, and it's attitude. Keep things simple. Things are already complicated enough. The
Yes.
second thing is with effort, regardless of what you do, be passionate about it and apply maximum effort. And the third one, to me, is the most important, is having a positive attitude. One of my favorite quotes is, a positive attitude won't solve all your problems, but it will annoy enough people to make it worth the effort.
I like that. I like that very much.
Yeah.
You know what? The beauty in what you share with us, simplicity, effort, and attitude, they can be added to the three. Everything blends and aligns with
Right.
one another when it's in sync and it's right. And that's what you're giving these kids, because these kids are very smart and they are talented and gifted, but no one has celebrated them and sung their praises yet. So when they come
Right.
to you, you're able to see in them, as every good mentor can, something that they don't see in themselves. Can you share maybe a brief little synopsis of someone that you were able to do that with, an example?
Oh, absolutely. And what you said is so true. And I think preface that by saying, a lot of the things these kids are going through is through no fault of their own. I mean, these are
Yes.
just things that they're dealt with. So I want to make sure that it comes across that it's anything they've done. But the best example I can give you, and is a mom posted on Facebook about a year ago, responded to me, sent me a text saying that her son, for the longest time, had identified with one word, and that word was alone. And she said after him coming to see you, he said he had adopted a new word. And it turns out it was a word that I would refer to him from time to time because of how he had started to change. And that word was relentless. And he's truly adopted that. And my message to him was, hey, if you utilize that approach with everything that you do, I promise you, young man, success will always be at your fingertips.
I love that word. I'm trying to think. I read that somebody introduced me to a book that I just purchased. It's from I don't know if it's a basketball person or a coach, but it has that word throughout it, relentlessly.
Relentless.
Relentless.
Yes.
That's a very good word. Oh, I love that. And I love that story because that kid was able to take from you something that was meaningful and impactful, one and the same to him. How major, how major. And then you know what? None of us, no matter how gifted, how talented, how brilliant we are, and all the other adjectives, none of us really want to be alone. We need companionship. We need people who can see in us what we can't see in ourselves, no matter how gifted we are. So that's what you're able to do with him.
Yes, ma'am.
I love it. And you know what? You mentioned something that you started with, Antwaun, that I want to speak to because I'm guilty. Up until, it doesn't matter when, I was blaming, because I volunteer with these young juvenile delinquent girls. And I was blaming, not so much blaming, but I was saying, oh, no, no. And then all of a sudden it dawned on me, Joy, step back. It's not their fault. Whatever you're seeing that's wrong, they have not been taught. No one has shown or told them or mentored or exampled for them. So they're doing the best they can. Your assignment is to be their guiding light. So that's exactly what you're speaking to. Yes.
Oh, absolutely. I think you're absolutely right. And I think the other part is being compassionate when you're listening to them is also important. One of the reasons I'm able to build a rapport and lasting relationship with these kids is I actually take the time not only to listen, but even when they ask for advice, I don't give it to them. My suggestion to them is make the decision, right, wrong, or indifferent, and learn from those decisions, because that's how you grow as an individual.
Right. Oh, I love what you just said, because once you get, this is, all right, Antwaun, you are one of the most energetic and passionate coaches and mentors that I have met. And I've met quite a few, myself included. And what you just said and how you started is so major. If you're in leadership, you sit back and you listen and you allow them to speak, and then you kind of repeat back to them. You don't give them necessarily the answers, because 99.9% of the time they have the answers, right?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. They always have the answers. So they think.
But they want to check and run it by you. And if you are really in sync and listening, you can find a way to have them repeat back to you what they want to hear from your mouth rather than theirs. Because
absolutely.
There's a bit of insecurity there, but they have the answer. It's fascinating. Listen, your father and mother who gave you this seed, something somewhere along the way said, Antwaun, our young people need you, and you would be a great coach and mentor for them. And you said approximately 6 years ago. What brought it on? Was it everything that your father taught and showed you one and the same? What really made you decide that you wanted to work? There was something there other than mom and dad giving you that. What else gave you that seed that you wanted, you needed, you had to work with young people? What was that?
Well, that's a great question, Joy. And when I've been asked this question a couple of times, and what's funny is sometimes you have to go back and think about things that have happened in the past, and you kind of connect the dots. Mm-hmm. And for me is shortly after my father passed, I was like, hey, I really want to honor him, want to remember him. And I go out and I get a tattoo with his initials and, of course, his birth date and the year he passed and so forth. But I kept thinking about, hey, how can I do this? How can I do this? But he one of the things he always talked about, too, was whatever you have, a gift that you have, any opportunity you have to pay it forward to somebody else, do it. Because guess what? There's a good chance they'll do the same thing and keep that cycle going. Right. So when the opportunity presented itself really, it was in my head for years. And I just said, hey, you know what? Now is the time.
The seed was there and it began to grow, sprout, and to blossom. And you knew that the time was now.
Absolutely.
Approximately 6 years, you said, and the timing now is really to explode with this because it is so needed. we all love technology. You and I are in this box right here and now, doing our little dance. And it's wonderful. But something in the intimacy and the connecting and the communication, as powerful as it can be, has been put way on the back burner for a much younger generation. So what you're doing for them and sharing with them and giving them, and hopefully myself included, is something that how important it is to communicate with words, with your heart, your soul, and the essence of who you are. I think it's just commendable. Now, I'm going to take a quick break. But before I do, I want you to be thinking about, you have a flagship program.
Yes, ma'am.
And it's called SEA of Success. I love the name, the title, and everything. I'm going to go and take a quick little break. I want you to be thinking about that because I want you to share with us. That's all about simplicity, effort, and attitude. And I want to speak to a little bit more about that. And I want to continue to talk about you and the coaching that you do with so many others. So hold tight. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. You'll see and hear everything.
Okay.
Oh, my goodness. Well, can you tell how much I love and adore and absolutely celebrate, praise, and commend this guy for all the work that he's doing with our young people? You know that your assignment is to connect with everyone here that comes through. Maybe there's a need, maybe you have kids, maybe you don't, maybe you know someone, it doesn't matter. Follow, because at some point in time, we all need each other, and you never know when we might have to call on one another. And we're going to be sharing a lot more with you about the work, the fantastic work that Antwaun Thompson is doing. But for now, I want to invite you to my master class, which is going to be June the 24th. And what I want you to do is just make a date, because I'm going to be putting the link and the posters and everything everywhere. But I want you to jot this in your little black book, because I want you to be there. Why? Because if you're twirling and confused and struggling and never sure and never feeling as confident and assured as you are, because that greatness is right there inside of you waiting to awaken, then I want to be the one to help you to get there. And so this masterclass is going to offer you all of that. And in conjunction, they said, don't overload, but it's not my nature. Join my Facebook group, Leading Ladies, Leaving Legacies, because there you'll be notified of all the things that we're going to be doing as we move forward. And we have a lot on the calendar. And I want you to make sure that you note this date, and I'll be putting more up about that. And again, make sure that you align with Antwaun, because whether you have kids or you know someone who has kids, kids need maturity and wisdom now more than ever before. And so I'm going to bring Antwaun back up, and we're going to talk about this program that he has, which I love the name of it, Sea of Success.
Yes, ma'am.
That's a great name. It's a name that's, as they say in today's vernacular, it's juicy, meaning it applies everywhere. Simplicity, effort, and attitude. You spoke to that before, but tell us a little bit more about this flagship program and what you want from us.
Yeah. So the simplicity, effort, and attitude actually started with my years of when I was coaching, which I still do, but it was always the three words I always said to the players, and always reverted back to life lessons as well. So when I started Coach G's Corner, I said, that's going to be a foundation that I'm going to build this on, because everything surrounding, we talk about their personal growth and development and personal relationship development. The simplicity and the effort and attitude of accountability. That's how they're going to get through that. Personal, with goal setting, keeping the goal simple. And once you set that goal, applying maximum effort to achieve that goal, and keeping the right attitude while you're achieving that goal, because there are highs and lows in everything that we do. And your attitude will always help you through those tough times when you're going through it. And then we talk about leadership. Leadership for some people is easy, for others it's not. And you may be in a leadership role later in life, but you have to be prepared to be a leader. You just don't step into a leadership role. Safe social media practices. We talk about kids and being on social media. Their personal identifiable information is out there every time they hit a keystroke, and them understanding that it's very simple to have that taken. That's how identity theft occurs. But that's what the foundation of what the Sea of Success is all about.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. This word love can never be used too much. And what you said in the explanation of that was developmental skills. For me and for you and for the kids that you're working with and the people that you are around you, it's very important. I say it in a different way, Antwaun, but it's the same. It's all about personal, professional. Even though they're young, they still need those rules and guidelines, and spiritual. We can't leave out the spiritual. Whether it's whatever faith or belief they have, they need that too. The God force, whatever that is for them. And that's what you're giving them. So when it comes to delivering, you said the kid said he felt that he was never alone. I think that was powerful. That was
absolutely.
Powerful.
Absolutely.
Because, yes. Go ahead.
I wanted to add something to that story because there was a second part that even takes it deeper. Yes. So once he established this and kind of came out of that state of being alone, not only did he adopt this new thought process and this new personality, if you will, but now he's actually coming back for his third summer as one of our coaches for our summer camps. So he's coming back to, and we have several kids that do that. We have a couple of college kids that come back that have been through our program. So they see the value in what we provide and they want to come back and be a part of it and actually have more kids sign up to help than I actually need. But that's a testament to what we do.
Antwaun, there is no better testament to what you do. No other testimonial will get you up at the top in the bleachers more than what you just shared. That is so powerful because that says that everything that you're giving and you're giving your all, they are embracing and it's impactful to them. And then they are doing what? Sharing it with others.
And passing it forward. Absolutely. And they love doing it. They love doing it. And I love watching them. I think that's the other thing too is from my perspective, is not that I give it to them, but what makes it so enjoyable is when these kids realize that there's somebody else out there that cares about them just as much as their families do. And then you see them succeed. I mean, it just hits you to the core.
Antwaun, you're being a diplomat and I love you for it. You know I do. I tell you, I fall in love easily, but with the right people, I've been very blessed in that way. And let me tell you, what you just said is very profound. And yet there's a smidgen of truth that we have to bring in there because you said even more than what their parents give them. What's sad for many of the kids that we're working with, and there's no blame here and there's no negative judgment. It's just a reality. They're giving them a lot of stuff, but they're not giving them what they need, which those eyeballs, that pat on the shoulder, that rub, that seeing them, that's what you're giving them. There's a big difference. And this isn't necessarily in an economical strata that they're in. It's all across the board, more so in certain stratas than others, but you're giving them that sense of them being worthy, that they have something great inside of them. And you're helping them to have that wake and blossom.
There's one word for that.
Yes.
It's called empowerment. That's what I like to say. I give them empowerment.
Yes. And I don't think anybody can give anyone more than that, money or anything else that can come, even education, but it is education in a different way. All right. So I know that you love the work that you do. I know that you're very passionate about it and you get excited. I can see it. I feel it. What is it that really gets you lit up the most? I know it's not everything. So share with us something that really makes you say, doggone it, I know I'm doing the right thing. And this is my calling. This is my purpose. This is my mission. What would that be?
Joy, the best answer I could give you is when my phone dings with somebody booking a lesson with me. That tells me that there's something that I give them. It's the same people over and over and over. When they do that, they keep coming back because they're getting something from me. And it's not just training. There's something else. Another quick story. I had a young man had a lesson with him and it was an hour lesson. He got home and told his mom, said, hey, that was my best lesson with Coach T. And she goes, well, what did you learn? He said, we just talked. And that is what drives me to do what I do. When kids get more out of just having a conversation, meaning there's somebody listening, and then you're just going back and forth. And we laugh, we have fun. It's not all serious, but it's on their level so that they can relax and share.
Antwaun, what you just said addresses what I just said, not as diplomatically as you just did. But what you just said is maybe their parents are beautiful, gifted, and everything else that's good, but they're not, for whatever their reasons are, and we all have our reasons, we are all lack this, that, and the other in different areas. They're not getting the attention, the love, and they're not being listened to as much as they need to be. And that's what you're giving them, the ear.
Yeah. Well, you know, there's one other part, and I think that this will answer your question. So, unfortunately, my wife and I weren't blessed with kids of our own, but I believe that the man upstairs said, "Hey, you know, I'm not going to bless you with kids of your own, but I'm going to give you the opportunity to impact and touch and enhance the lives of hundreds and hopefully thousands of kids." So is why I do what I do.
Ah, I love that. And you know, it's uncanny because not to piggyback on dovetail on what you just said there, but I've never had kids, but I feel like I'm Earth mother in different ways.
Right.
And yet, because of my troubled childhood, which wasn't that bad, but you know, you grow up and you get your lessons, I realized that all of these lessons that I've gotten, it's time to turn around and share them with others who need that guidance and that wisdom. And what you have, and wisdom doesn't mean you have to be a senior citizen to have it. I've met many a young person who is wise, and I'm sure you have it as well, right?
Absolutely.
Because people attribute wisdom to older aged people, but you can find very wise young people. They might not quite have put it together for the wisdom yet, but it's the seed, and all you need to do is help it to blossom. And that's what you
Absolutely.
do. I just think it's great. I really think it's great. Now, tell us a little bit more about mom, because we talk a lot about dad and mom. They say that I don't know who says it, that a man has his mother's heart. So your mom and your stepdad and your dad gave you this seed to work with these young people. And sooner or later it began to boom. And here you are. But what gifts in particular did mom give you?
My personality. I have my mom's personality, and my gift for gab I get from my mom. And and I know my wife is watching right now, and she knows, because you are your mother's son, boy, I tell you. But my mom is, to this day, is an absolute rock. There's two rocks in my life, my wife and my mom. And my mom has got a sense of humor. And she gave me the personality. So I think it's my ability to connect with people of all ages so quickly. I get that from my mom. And when we talk, I mean, you think we're like buddies from years gone by. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm still scared of her now. She gets mad. I'm still, no matter how old I get, I'm still respectful.
You are a jewel. You are a jewel. Let me just say this. You spoke to something that's really important with the kids that you're working with. And you spoke to the gift of gab and being able to communicate, the personality. Now, a lot of the kids I know, from the kids that I've mentored and I'm around and volunteered with, and I'm sure somewhat with you, social skills, which has been put way on the back burner somewhat. We're doing this phone texting kind of boom, boom thing. How are you getting them to value the art of communications, being able to converse with any, every, and all? That's a skill that they need. So can you speak to that briefly before we say so long for now? The time flies here. Because many of them need it, Antwaun, maybe I should ask you, do you find that many of them need that skill? Yes.
Oh, they absolutely do. We'll get a lot of what, and I catch them quick on that. I say, I'm not one of your peers. I'm not one of your classmates. So your response to me should be appropriate to whom you're speaking to. So, and they understand it. And it's all about how you say it. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. Oh. And there's a lesson to when I say it. It's not just, hey, say it to me. I explain to them why it's important to do that.
That's so major, because here's one of the things that we hear in this crazy community that hubby and I are in, is that the parents want to be their kids' friends. Well, the kids get many and plenty of friends out there. They don't need you as a friend. They need you as a loving person who gives them discipline, which means you give them structure, and they know and see the love in your eyeballs. And I use the eyeballs because that's where it stems from, because it comes from the heart. Listen, the time flies here. Is there anything at all that you want to share with us before we say so long for now? And by the way, I'm going to be in your camp, in your tribe, in your circle until the end of time, because I really celebrate you and I love you. And tell your wife not to get jealous, because I have a husband that I'm mad for.
I'll tell her.
I do really applaud you for all the wonderful work that you're doing with our kids, and they need us more than ever. What do you want to leave us with, Antwaun? What is it that you want to leave us with here and now? Whatever it is, the stage is yours.
Two things really quick. One, I'll just sum up what I do, Joy, and that is I provide enhancements that change lives, which means the enhancements I provide, the kids can take those and change their lives with those enhancements. And one of the things I want to offer to anybody that's listening, I want to give them the opportunity to get my Sea of Success blueprint for free.
Yes.
So that they can see what it's all about. It gives a breakdown of what it is. I gave you a quick overview, but all they have to do is text the word blueprint to 704-558-6770, and it's theirs. There's no cost to it. It's just something, a gift of mine. I want to make sure that I'm available, and that's the best way that I can do that. And all my contact information is in that blueprint.
Listen, apologies for you that I didn't have that to put across the scroll, but
Quite
if you text me exactly, I think I wrote it down right, but it's always better when I see it in a print. Text blueprint, and then that's 558-704-6770. Is that correct?
704-558.
Okay, text me that. And then I will put it in the comments so that those who come here now and after the fact will have it, and they'll be able to use that, because I didn't have that before. But listen,
that's okay.
I don't have to tell you that we have to do this again and again, because you're good company, and I love the work you're doing. Thank you.
Thank you, Joy. I really appreciate you having me on. I really do. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. You can go in the green room. I'll be with you in just a second. Stay there, and I'll be with you. All the best. Bye.
All right.
Listen. Isn't it great, the fabulous people that I bring you, men and women, especially here on Biz to Biz with Joy, growing your business in style. They're all about a purpose, a mission, a calling, and being of service to others, to support and empower. That's what Antwaun said. Great word. Not overused like authentic. Empower, however you do it, is always rewarded. I forgot to tell you, but you know by now, but then you never assume anything. I'm learning. Don't forget to put in the comments Biz, B-I-Z, and you'll be delivered your complimentary booklet, which gives you lots of good nuggets and tips about being an interviewee and interviewing. And it's fun. It's good. And join me here every Tuesday and every Wednesday at 7 p.m. So I'll see you tomorrow night. Until then, be well, stay safe, wear the mask. We're almost out of it, but not quite. But until we connect, you be and stay well. Sending you much love and all the best. So long for now. Cheers.